Hey everyone, welcome to Guitars, Whiskey, and Golf. Today we're switching gears and we're getting into some good whiskey. What do we have on the shelf today? We have Old Forester 1910. So Old Forester 1910 is part of the Whiskey Row series by Old Forester. Some of the other bourbons in that series are the 1920, as well as the 1897 Bottled in Bond, and then there's also an 1870, I believe. The two that I've had so far are the 1910 and the 1920. Both are excellent. So let's get into the 1910 and tell you a little bit about it, its backstory, and what you've got here. So in 1910, Old Forester had a huge fire on their bottling line. So it shut down their bottling process, and they had an enormous amount of whiskey that was ready to be bottled, but couldn't be because their whole bottling line had been destroyed in that fire. So what they did was they took the whiskey that was ready to be bottled and rebarreled it back into heavily charred American oak barrels. So by virtue of that, what you have is a double oaked bourbon. So much like the Woodford double oaked, if you know bourbon and you've had the Woodford double oaked, that's essentially what the 1910 is. It's a double oaked bourbon. That they have replicated based on that fire that they had in 1910. So the 1910 is 93 proof. It's non-age stated. So you really don't know how old the bourbon is. I'm guessing it's probably around 6 years old. There's nothing about it that tastes young. So if I had to guess, I would probably say it's probably a blend of ages, but probably somewhere around 6 years old. But don't hold me to that because, again, it's non-age stated, so I don't know that for a fact. But again, it's 93 proof. It's 73% corn, about 17 or 18% rye, and then it has 10% malted barley. So I would say it's a pretty classic mash bill for a bourbon, maybe a little bit high on the rye side, but an absolutely fantastic, delicious bourbon. So taste, first of all, on the nose, it's really sweet. It has, brown sugars, caramel. You've got some dark cherry, maybe almost some like pecan or like nutty quality to it. If I had to describe the nose, it's almost like if you were baking something and it had brown sugar and nuts and dark cherries in it. That's kind of what it smells like. It's really got an incredible nose. So I think you'll enjoy it from that respect. Let's give it a taste. One of the things I love about this bourbon is that the nose translates into the palate. It's sweet up front. As it lingers in your mouth, it's very kind of almost like a thick, heavy mouthfeel. You get a lot of brown sugar. I get a lot of barrel, that charred barrel. Go for another taste. Yeah, you get a lot of barrel on it, a lot of that oaky woodness that I really like. There's dark cherry, caramels, brown sugars. It's it's really a sweet bourbon, which I personally like. So if I had to sum this up, I would say this is a really really great bourbon. It's about $55, so I would call it a mid-range price on in the bourbon world. It's not cheap, but it's also not blow your budget out expensive. This is a fantastic bourbon that I really highly recommend that you try. After dinner, If you're looking for something a little bit on the sweet side, almost like a dessert kind of quality to it, this fits the bill. On Christmas morning, some people have wine on Christmas morning, or they maybe have some Irish whiskey in their coffee, something like that. If you're looking for something a little bit on Christmas morning that brings the sweetness and almost like a fruitcake kind of quality with cherry and caramel and brown sugar, those types of flavors, I would highly recommend it. So go out and get yourself a bottle if those types of flavor notes are what you're looking for. I don't think you can go wrong with it. Like I said, it won't blow the budget out, and I think you'll highly enjoy it. So I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family and friends, and thanks for checking out Guitars, Whiskey, and Golf.